Hey everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an overview of this chart behind me. Overview of the muscles, skeletal muscles on this video, on this chart. And then I'll go over the individual models for the muscles after this video. Okay, so let's get started on this overall view. And then I'll do the front and back charts that are beside this one. And we'll go into individual muscles on the front and back charts that are here to the right of me. Okay? Alright, so let's get started on this video. Okay, so we're going to do this chart here first. It shows the body front and back. Alright? So let's start with the head up here. Okay, just follow this red laser here. Okay, so on the top here we'll have the frontalis muscle. Okay. Alright. And then here we're going to have the Orbicularis Oculi. Here we're going to see the masseter. Down here is the triangularis. Over here we can see the risorius. And this is the Zygomaticus Major. Here we see this muscle, the platysma. And then this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the front of the head. Let's look at the back on this one beside it. We can see the occipitalis muscle. Okay. And then we can say this muscle here is a Semispinalis Capitis, and then beside it is the Splenius Capitis. Semispinalis and Splenius. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the back of the head. Okay. Now let's go to the thorax anteriorly. So here we have the Pectoralis Major muscle. Here we have the external obliques. They run towards the fibers, run towards the middle and form a V. Here we can see the Rectus Abdominis. Here we have the Serratus Anterior. These muscles here, serrated. Serratus Anterior. And that's pretty much it for the thorax and torso anteriorly. Let's go here to the thorax and torso posteriorly. Here we have this kite-shaped muscle that's called the trapezius. Okay. Then we have this largest muscle in our body. It's called the Latissimus Dorsi. Latissimus Dorsi. Okay. Here we have the Infraspinous muscle. Okay. And this muscle here is most likely the Teres Minor, and then we can't see the Teres Major below that. Okay. And then back here, this aponeurosis is called the Lumbar Aponeurosis. Okay. All right, so let's go to the upper appendage. Okay, so the muscles here. This is the Biceps Brachii. Okay. Muscle underneath it right here is the brachialis. This is the brachioradialis. All right. This one here looks like it's the Palmaris Longus because it goes to all your digits down here. Palmaris Longus. I guess we can call this one here the flexor carpi ulnaris. And this will be the flexor carpi radialis. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the muscles in the anterior part of the upper appendage. Now let's look at the muscles in the posterior part. Here we have the triceps brachii. Triceps brachii. And we can just say brachioradialis right there. That's all we can really do. Maybe we can say this one here is Extensor Digitorum because that's going to extend the digits of the hand. And that's it for the muscles of the back of the arm. All right, so let's go now to the muscles of the lower appendage. Okay. So here we got quite a few. This longest muscle in our body, that's called the sartorius. Sartorius. This muscle right here is called the tensor fasciae latae. Okay. This muscle here medially on the thigh, that's called the gracilis. And this is the adductor longus. Okay. Here in the thigh in the front, these are part of the quadriceps femoris muscle group. This is going to be the rectus femoris. This is the vastus lateralis and the vastus medialis. And that's all we can do there. Let's go down to the leg. Here we have the tibialis anterior. Okay. And there you can see the back. We'll do on the other model, but the one beside it, but this is the gastrocnemius. Okay. All right, so let's go to the muscles in the back of the thigh and leg. Okay, here we have the gluteus maximus. Here we have the biceps femoris. On the top here we have the semitendinosus, and on the bottom the semimembranosus. Okay. Here we have the biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and on the bottom semimembranosus. Okay, here we have the gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius, a medial head and a lateral head. Here we have the soleus muscle right underneath it. And on the side of the leg, we have the peroneus longus. Okay, so that's pretty much all the muscles, overview muscles of the anterior and posterior view. All right, so now we're going to do the chart that's right beside the overview of the muscle chart that we just did right there. Okay. Right there. Okay, so we're going to look at a little bit more in detail view of the muscles of the back here. All right, on this chart. On the left hand side, you're going to see a more superficial view of the muscles. And on the right hand side, you'll see more deeper views. More deeper. Okay, so we'll be going between the two on the posterior view. All right, so let's start back up here in the back of the head. Here we have the Semispinalis Capitis, and this is the Splenius Capitis. Okay, and over here you see the occipitalis muscle. All right, now here you see half of the trapezius, again, because it's a superficial muscle. And if we remove the trapezius, we see some deeper muscles like you see here on the right-hand side. So here you'll be able to see the rhomboids major, which will be these first four on the bottom, and the top two will be the rhomboids minor. And here on the shoulder, we're going to be able to see the supraspinatus, and just below it, we'll see the infraspinatus muscle, which coincide with the supraspinous fossa and the infraspinous fossa. Here we see the Teres Minor, and there's the Teres Major. Okay. And a muscle that I didn't mention in the chart beside it is going to be the deltoid muscle. Okay. So that's the deltoid muscle. Actually, I forgot to mention it, but okay. So here we see the infraspinatus, Teres Minor, and Teres Major. You see some students labeling it here. It look pretty good. So maybe look at it. Levator Scapulae. Use that one as well. Okay, so let's go down further here in the torso. Here we see the Latissimus Dorsi. All right. And here's the Serratus Posterior, these four muscles going like this. Posterior serratus, serratus posterior, whichever way. And then here we have the Errector Spinae muscle. Okay, that helps erect your spine or your vertebral column. And you see these three muscles that split up from the Rectus Spinae. You have the Spinalis, the Longissimus, and the Iliocostalis. Okay, so Spinalis, Longissimus, and Iliocostalis. All right. All right, so down here we have the Lumbar Aponeurosis. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the thorax and torso posteriorly. Let's look at the appendages. Here we have the deltoid. Here was the Triceps Brachii. Okay, so here we have the brachioradialis. Okay, so let's go down here to the posterior thigh and leg. So we have the Gluteus Maximus. Nothing really here. We can say this is the Gluteus Medius. Okay. Gluteus Medius. Down here we have the Biceps Femoris. Okay, Biceps Femoris. And here we have the semitendinosus. And underneath it we have the semimembranosus. And here we see the gracilis. 95. Okay, let's go down to the leg. Here we have the gastrocnemius. Then underneath the gastrocnemius we see the soleus. And then we have the peroneus longus or the fibularis. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The chart for the posterior view of the muscles. So we'll go next to the anterior view. All right, so for this last chart, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the anterior view of the muscles, as you can see behind me here. All right, look at the anterior view, and it's going to have some more deep and superficial muscles that we can look at there. All right, so let's finish up this last chart of the muscles. Okay, so we're going to go over the muscles here on this chart. All right. It's going to show us the anterior view, deep and superficial muscles. So let's start up here with the head. Okay. That's not too blurry, but okay, so here we have the frontalis muscle. Here we have the Orbicularis Oculi, and this is the Orbicularis Oris. Okay. Here we have the Zygomaticus Major. Here's the Risorius. And this is the Triangularis or the Depressor Anguli Oris. And here we have the Mentalis. Okay. Now this is going to be called the sternocleidomastoid. Here we have the Pectoralis Major. Now here we can see the internal intercostals. Okay, internal intercostals allow us to breathe out or exhale. Here we have the Pectoralis Minor. Here's some students that wrote down some stickers here. They're pretty good. Pectoralis Minor. Here we have the Serratus Anterior. This muscle underneath here, as you can see labeled, is the subscapularis. Here we do have the coracobrachialis, muscle that originates in the coracoid process. And here we have the Biceps Brachii. Biceps Brachii. And this one that looks like the short head will be the long head, and this one that looks like the long one is the short head of the Biceps Brachii. Here we have the brachioradialis. Here's the Palmaris Longus, which is able to flex the digits of the hand. Okay, so let's go down here to the abdomen. So this is the external oblique. So the muscles that are in the abdomen from outer to inner will be external oblique. Notice how the fibers run towards the middle and form a V on both sides if they were both here. Then here you have the internal obliques. That's the next deep layer. Internal obliques. You can see the fibers run towards the middle, and on both sides it would form a peak. Then the next muscle would be the rectus abdominis, which goes straight up and down. Rectus abdominis. And the deepest muscle will be the transversus abdominis. Okay, so let's go down to the thigh and legs. And that should do it. So here we have the quadriceps, which is made up of the rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, and the vastus medialis. And underneath the rectus femoris, we're going to have here the vastus intermedius. Okay, all those muscles extend the leg. And let's go finish up here on the leg. Here we have the tibialis anterior. Tibialis anterior. And that's all we can really do here. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much an overview of the muscles, skeletal muscles, anterior and posterior view. A couple charts here behind me. This one and that one. We can be able to get into some more deeper and superficial muscles. And then here we finalized with the, we started with the overview of the muscles in the front and the back. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully that will give you more of an understanding of the muscles that you need to go over. And if you have any questions, make sure to let me know, comment, and also make sure to like and subscribe. So I'll check you out in the next videos where we go over some models of the muscles. All right, take care. Bye.